Over the past 24 hours, a lot has changed. So our top two betting favorites from the start of the tournament, they're out of there. Let's take a look at the updated odds right now to win the U.S. Open on the men's side. And what are you seeing, Zach?
I'm seeing Jannik Sinner as the favorite now after, a scandal last week. I think that people are going to be pretty unhappy about that, but I'm not sure that Sinner's still going to get it done. I think that there's a lot that he still has to prove, especially physically in a best-of-5 setting. So I think that there's a value elsewhere on the board. One thing that I do really like at this point in the tournament is a little off the board here. I think that Alex de Minaur is a flyer that I think is worth taking, a player that I thought was playing tremendous tennis at Wimbledon, somebody that has really upped his game on faster surfaces. He's added pace to his forehand. He's gotten a lot better as a server. Really fun player to watch. And I think he's proven this week that he is healthy after suffering that injury at Wimbledon. So, a player that is part of the draw that has opened up a little bit, quarter two. I think there's opportunity there. So, a longer shot that I think is worth taking because I think there's a real chance he makes the final.
Zach, we know Aryna Sabalenka sort of in a category of her own, winning Cincinnati, playing great. Iga Swiatek, same sort of situation at the top, #1 seed. Mid-range, though, on the women's side, where's the great value at?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd say it's mid-range, but I did like Pegula to win the tournament before it started. I still think there's a really good opportunity for the American there. I just thought that she played so well in Toronto, in Cincinnati, a player that I really like on hard courts because, the way she quickly generates power, the way she moves on the court. She made some changes earlier in the season to her team to address her serve. That has paid dividends in a big way. Her hold percentage is up at the highest it's been on the WTA tour. And first serve percentage also the highest it's been as a full-time player on the WTA tour. So it's a player that I think can really break through and win her first slam here. And I also kind of like Karolina Muchova, a player that I took to win her quarter. Just thought that the way she looked against Osaka was really impressive. The way she plays at the net is really tremendous. So a player that has obviously no holes in her game, has been top 10 in the past. I think that she's really dangerous this tournament.
Zach, let's get into the fun stuff. I'm all about throwing down a couple bucks on how many bites of her fruit is Coco going to have on a changeover. But is the props, all these different kind of props bets, something that's worthwhile getting into?
I think it could be fun. There was a prop yesterday with Tiafoe and Shelton, over 31.5 aces in a match with two players with a lot of firepower, that could bring the boom with their serve. That could be fun to watch. I still like to stick, to game spreads, set spreads, just the totals and sides. But there is definitely room, to have some fun in the prop market. They are adding more and more props every year. It's really amazing to watch.
How many push-ups is Prakash going to do on TC Live? That should be the next prop.
We do it all here. We do it all here, Zach.
Zach, your pick of the day on tennis.com, Jakob Mensik, Nuno Borges. What are you seeing in this match?
I just think there's a really, big discrepancy in the odds that I'm not really understanding. I think that Mensik is a player that is a little more talented than Borges. I know that he's coming off a 4-hour, 18-minute match. I think that that's the big concern when you're looking at these two. But, Mensik is 18 years old. I think he's going to be okay with having played, a longer match a couple days ago. I just like the way that he generates power, with his serve from the baseline. I also really like his drop shot. I think that Borges is a player that is really, really solid, but I think he can be pushed around by a player with, Mensik's physicality. So I just think it's really worth a shot on Mensik. I think that, the odds give him a 38% chance of winning that match. I'd say it's a lot closer to a real 50-50.
All right, Zach, I'm gonna borrow your eyes. I'm gonna borrow your lens here. We got some pretty cool matches out there today. So from your perspective, when you look at this setup right here, what do you see?
I think that Krueger has a real chance against Samsonova. I think that was no fluke seeing her beat Mira Andreeva. I thought Krueger played really well in that match. Her aggressive style of play really got to Andreeva, forced a lot of unforced errors out of her. I think you could see something really similar against Samsonova. I think that Samsonova is a very dangerous hardcourt player. A player that can hit really big shots from the baseline, can be really good with her serve. But at the same time, we have seen her deal with nerves, poorly in the past. And I think that this atmosphere is going to be very pro Krueger. And I also think, the moment's going to be really big for Samsonova, whereas there is not a lot of pressure on Krueger. I also think that Krueger is almost just as good of a server as Samsonova. So I think that the holds are going to come easily for the American. I just think that that's another one that I think is worth a shot at plus money odds.
All right. Seeing some good value in the American, Ashlyn Krueger. Also Jakob Mensik, the 18-year-old. And picking Jessie Pegula from the start to bring home her first major trophy. Zach Cohen, Appreciate you, as always, our betting expert. You can find his pick of the day every day of the U.S. Open on tennis.com.